so that we can do another run for the Poor Boys RC GT02 Speedrun Challenge for 2023. My last runs at 3S were pretty pitiful, as that build stripped the diffs front and rear. So I have another 3S entry, but right now on 2S I have a bunch of soldering to do, as I will be sharing. But let's get the run out of the way here. GPS is in. Clear the cache. .7. Start here, making sure I don't forget anything. So this build used to have big giant tires on the rear and a different rear end diffuser, but it cracked the old chassis, which I'm actually using for my brush motor car. I'm using one of my broken chassis for the brush motor car. It's gonna be cool. Let's go. Oh, there we go. So this now has regular size tires, no big buggy truggy tires on it. I guess I should have gone through the build here. Big motor, 10 scale drag tires, 2S LiPo, 7.4, hope it's clear. Just a quick run to put myself in a better spot on the board, hopefully without crashing this time. This is a build using a big motor, lots of crazy gears, Radiolink. Again, my weapon of choice for transmitters. Castle Mamba Monster 2, tried and true. Trusty old ESC. Oh, did I turn it on? I didn't turn it on. Let's turn it on. Can I turn it on without taking the body off? Where'd I put the switch? Yeah. Okay, still recording. Oh, this one's still recording too? Okay, this one's out. Again, we're gonna stop here, read, going 2 miles an hour, reading, start, see if we can get a run in before the sun goes down. This is actually mostly the car that was in the short that I posted, where you could see it crash into the curb at 81 miles an hour. That was an interesting run. Really loud on the crash, so people came running to see what had happened. Alright. Right, no noise, we're clear. Now that that was cool. I hope that came out. That was a big lift and then slam. The steering stuck. I'm going in circles. Okay, so I'm getting more lift now in the front. I have a lot of weight, but I changed a few things. Okay, so that popped out. That's why I'm locked in. This is one of my model cheap builds. So I gotta switch over some of the parts. Now let's stop and read. So that was 73 miles an hour with a big big jump up in the air and save. I might have to turn that one into a short. That was cool. Hey, Craziest Monkey here with some build info, build updates, and yeah, just general introductions on the cars really. So this is the car that I ran in the first video, TT02SR with a carbon chassis, and then everything moved over to the flat pan chassis. I am hoping to get new discs for it soon, but this big giant motor has stripped the diffs and big giant ESC. This is the first time I had taken it out and really put the throttle down, and I found my weak spot. I also chunked some tires, so I'm going to get some harder tires for the next runs with this thing. I originally had the stickier 30 shore drag tires, but I've had lots of problems with them just kind of coming apart. So I'm going to be switching the tires on this as I get it going and back together. So also got to do repairs on the body. I lost a big fin here and try to gauge whether or not it was helping. We'll see. I've used this body on 4 different builds, all of them basically as tests to see what my aero combinations do, if they work or don't work. It helps me understand the process and the build, and I can come out here and make something. I don't have a 3D printer yet, so my results aren't perfectly repeatable, but these are my weapons of choice currently. I used to use a jigsaw to cut a lot of this stuff, polycarbonate. I also use it for cutting ABS, marine grade 1/4 inch ABS plastic that I use for various pieces. I've got some aluminum I want to use, but I got to switch the blades in the bandsaw and get a controller so I can slow it down. But that's really how I make a lot. This brushed build has a lot of that going on in it. A lot of the custom parts built using those materials. Yeah. So moving on, and before we get to the brush car, this is the car from the short where it did the cool up in the air and then crash landing and sparks. It's got some screws sticking out of the bottom. That's where the sparks came in. It was really cool. I'm really happy I got that footage. That run is on this video, the full run, so I can get my official 73 miles per hour in. I'll probably have it fixed and going faster by then soon. I figured out why it was doing that. The lip here was angled up because it used to sit with more of a rake with larger wheels in the back, which are not legal for this competition since we're supposed to use the on-road size tires, not the buggy tires. So I've made a brace for a support. Here I got my, maybe you can see here, yeah, so little Batarang looking brace that'll sit under here and support the polycarbonate, and that way it doesn't bend up so far. I put on some of my other more worn-in foams for the front, so that should lower the front some. I did swap some of the custom aero parts from another TT02 build I have that is nowhere near legal for this competition. That one, instead of a center drive shaft, is running a big giant 775 brushed motor. I need a different controller for that. I'm trying to run it on 12S and see what happens, just because that motor is directly connected to the diffs. But anyhow, this one is an A-scale motor build running 3S. It's done 89 with the old setup on 2S. It recently pulled that 73 stunt run On 2S, I have a 3S lipo that'll fit in the stock spot that I can use for some of the other cars. But I have some soldering to do for about 3 or 4 different projects, so I kind of save them all and do them all at once. So I have everything out and do it. I've got to do some soldering for this one, for the old brushed ESCs to run, as well as for my 124 scale drag speed run car, and the batteries for this, because I have the QS8 connectors for the big 3S lipos. So I need to make some adapters so I can put it on all of my XT90 plug cars. Then make various connectors. I also want to solder a battery pack for this, an iCAD pack. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, so I'm excited to get all of them going. Here's my brushed motor car. As I said, I have lots of these bodies. Technically I have 5, I'm running 4, but I wanted to use this body that I had laying around. So I started cutting the TTO2 chassis for brushed motor. I've been using a Tamiya Group C for brushed motor speed runs. If this one does well, I'm gonna just switch that one to a big brushless setup, because that one is has a camera, onboard camera, so I can watch the runs. But this one should do a lot of what that one is doing, with a lot of the ease of having a full diff, so it's a little easier to handle under speed with gears, so I don't have to worry about it stripping out too bad. We can take a little peek under here. And I do enough custom stuff where it's a little daunting to share all the secrets, because my hobby is more building than driving. I guess second, in between there somewhere is also crashing, but it's a Tamiya F2 with Tamiya F103 suspension adapted to the front and other custom stuff, so I can fit battery packs however I want. I have new tires coming for this one for the front and new ones for the rear. From there I'll make final adjustments on how everything sits and see if I can't get some good brush motor runs out of it. It is for NIM and NiCad, but I have gotten a best of 59 with a LiPo battery brush motor, TTO2 on so 2S LiPo. So I shouldn't be that far off if I'm using a 7-cell NIM or NiCad. Yeah. So these are my builds. This is my radio of choice. Radiolink, I can connect it to all the different cars and control everything nice and easy. But yeah, we'll see how these do. I have a bunch of different motors for this. I have a bunch of older ESCs as well as some new ESCs I can adapt. I'm going to start with a Tempest, and then I have motors between 8 and 16 turn from old racing motors, and some of them actually have a couple. I have one that's brand new in the packaging still, a 10 turn. But we'll see how these do. I know nobody's really talking what motors they're using and everything else and all the gearing, and well, it's a competition after all, so I'll try to keep the rest of it secret. I'll figure out how far we're getting along. I don't know if you can zoom in and see if something works for you or not, but take your time, build something cool, buy some tools off of Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or anywhere cheap, eBay. You can pretty much make anything. Here's a couple examples of scrap I got. So this is just pieces coming off of plastic. This is the polycarbonate or Lexan with the shielding still on. But yeah, this is how I do it. I'd like to do more. When I get a 3D printer, I'll do some of this repeatable. Maybe see if any of it actually works. I can make it en masse and we can all share in the fun. But thanks for watching. Yeah, this is a lot of fun here. I appreciate Poor Boys RC setting this up, and getting everybody out there driving their cars, driving their TTO2s, and putting some work in, and taking a chassis that wasn't really built for it and making it do a whole lot more. I'll probably include some video of me messing around on the scroll saw or bandsaw or something. I don't know how much of this process you guys want to see, but I'll try to put out more running videos soon as I get parts in and get them going again. Thanks again. Catch you on the next one. Craziest Monkey out. Hey, it's Craziest Monkey here. I'm not gonna be very talkative for this part of the video. I had a crown done today, but I figured I'd show some of the process. I just mocked up some bits I need to cut. This is thick polycarbonate. I'm gonna try cutting it here on my scroll saw. I might have to change blades or just use the jigsaw. Probably be faster with the jigsaw, but I'd like for it to look nice. I got a couple pieces here, mounts for my Jackson Storm Vendetta project, and this is a chassis brace for my brushed motor TT02 Speedrun Challenge car. I'm just gonna get to it. The rest of this is just gonna be fast forwarded. I have a chassis to cut. I might show that too. Yeah, this Craziest Monkey doing this thing.